This is Kate Swoboda, creator of YourCourageousLife.com, director of the Courageous Living Coach certification at TeamCLCC.com, and author of the book, The Courage Habit, which is available at booksellers and at Amazon. The Your Courageous Life podcast is all about going after what you want and creating and living a more courageous, emotionally resilient life. Might drop a couple of F-bombs, so maybe don't listen with your kids in the backseat of the car. And here we go with today's episode. All right, party people. What do you do when you don't know where to start? That's where we're getting into today. Because sometimes life goes into a bit of a free fall. And I am really hoping, by the way, that this podcast episode is like landing in someone's lap at just the right time, particularly if they have tended to be someone who is very, confident, good at goal setting, and then like suddenly you're just going, I don't even know where to start. Like, it is not just one thing. It is not just one resolution I need to make or one goal. Your entire life is feeling a little bit like a rehab project that not even Chip and Joanna Gaines would be willing to shiplap. So what do you do when you don't know where to start? Now, I've been there, okay? And when you don't know where to start, the overwhelm about even picking a possible place to begin feels like another overwhelming decision to make, another item on the to-do list. I so get it. And in those moments, the lure of the couch and Netflix has a pretty strong pull, which I got to tell you, actually makes that the place to start when you don't know where to start. And related to that, I think that there's a reason why people tend to evangelize for things. Like, have you ever had one of those friends where they discover the thing and they're like, oh my God, this is the best, like minimalism or CrossFit or green juice or EMDR or untethering from digital devices or meditation, like all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, minimalism changed my life. And I think that happens because when people feel stuck in their lives, wearing down the same old maze of dead ends again and again and again, and then something emerges that seems like a path out of that maze, it feels like new life has been breathed into them. I'm thinking now of like people who have struggled with addiction, who get really into endurance or exercise. And like they become these badass triathletes and their whole lives are different. And they're like, oh my God, triathlon changed my life. And it's like, triathlon in and of itself probably didn't change their life. And it's probably more along the lines of when they felt stuck for so long, triathlon was like the thing that came in that was new, that breathed in new possibility. So, to feel so stuck and then find that completely decluttering your house renews you, gives you something to do and a sense of purpose is everything. To feel miserable and careening out of control and then learn that you can go to the gym and throw around barbells once a day and feel blood pumping through your veins and coloring your cheeks, that's like everything. And the archetype seen on so many self-help websites of the person who is so sad and stuck, but they discovered a way out. I realize that archetype can feel a little like, oh my God, another like, it was so awful and now I found the thing and my life is better. Another one of those websites. And sometimes they get lampooned, but it isn't really so very off base. There are a lot of people out there who used to feel sad and stuck. And when they discovered a way out of that, I think it's really natural to want to cry out to the world, I was so miserable and I found a way out. You can too. So, finding your way out of stuck when you don't know where to start. So when you don't know where to start, don't get stuck in the trap of thinking that there is some right place, because there isn't. Trying to wait until it's the right place or the right thing or the right time, yada, yada, yada. It's just a delay tactic. It's just fear trying to tell you that you can't take action or you can't start somewhere unless it's like the perfect somewhere. It's just fear. There are a lot of places you could start. Like you could just start with being consciously aware of your breath, which is something that requires no money, no time. I mean, after all, you're always breathing, right? Whether you call it meditation or whether you're just noticing your breath as you drive down the street. You could start with not turning on the television for 1 week or cutting the usual amount of time in half. You could start with taking a walk around the block. You could also go rogue and radically change a lot of things all at once. That is a valid option. In The Power of Habit, Charles Duhigg reports that researchers have found that one of the best times to start a new habit is when you're on vacation, because all of your normal life's cues that go into the habitual way of living your life are not present in that vacation environment, which is different. So that's a kind of funny thing to think about, right? Like maybe when I'm on vacay, that's the time for things to be totally different. You could start by just being curious about your present day unhappiness without any attempt whatsoever to change it. Check out the Depression book by Sherry Huber. Sherry is Cheri, and Huber is Huber. And she really encourages people to get curious. And what if you decide not to do stuff to change? What if that is the greatest doing that you could ever adopt into your life? I sent out a newsletter recently to Your Courageous Life subscribers that said, what if you just stopped trying to do it all? Like, what if you just actually stopped trying to do it all? What if it was possible to trust that creativity over productivity would get you where you wanted to go? And for those people who are really in that go, 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 do mentality in life, sometimes just not doing stuff to change is exactly the thing that'll be the most life-changing. So there you go. You can really no longer say, I don't know where to start. Because you do know where to start. You start right here. Feel free to borrow any of the suggestions I've made. You start right here. You start right now. There is no better time. And you start with you. You are the perfect person. You are the one who has to take the armor off because you're the one who put it there. You are the one who is supremely oriented to change your life. And you are the one who can just start with exactly where you are, not even trying to change anything. And you can experience that as being pretty profound. So when you don't know where to start right here, right now, with you, with what you've got. And don't delay. That's what you do when you don't know where to start. All right, that's today's podcast. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. You know you can continue the work and the fun if you want to. Head on over to yourcourageouslife.com/begin and become a Your Courageous Life subscriber, because as soon as you sign up, you get access to an entire library of worksheets and audios and other bonuses. And of course, you'll be receiving more courage in your inbox. And who wouldn't love that? You can learn more about the Courageous Living Coach certification at teamclcc.com. You can get the Courage Habit at your local bookseller, on Amazon, wherever you like. We can even connect on social media. I'm on Facebook at Your Courageous Life. So look for facebook.com/Your Courageous Life. And I'm on Instagram as Kate Courageous. And I'd love to connect with you on Instagram. So here's to you, using these courageous tools in your life and creating a real ripple effect of good. And again, thanks so much for listening. I love it that you're here.